Hello, and welcome back to Town to City. In today's episode, business is going to be booming. We've been putting in the very basic foundations of a village with places for people to live and the simple necessities of life. But now it's time to branch out and see if we can't get some tourists coming to our town. Is it about time for us to check out some of the hotels and maybe do a little bit of beachfront renewal? I think it might be. Let's check it out. So in our little town here, we have been building out this village and the population has been growing. And in my mind, the story that we're telling here, there is a little entrepreneur who has decided that this little island town is going to be the next big thing. He came here to visit, I don't know, somebody in his family, maybe a niece or a nephew or his grandparents or something. And while he was here, he noticed these Roman ruins that are scattered throughout the town. And he found these things fascinating, so he decided that others might find them interesting as well. And he's ready to start building a little bit of tourism around this. And so while this guy was sitting here at our little cabana here enjoying a drink, trying to look around the tree that I placed in front of the balcony, blocking everybody's view of what's going on outside, he noticed that there is an alien rock and a beach in the distance that look very, very inviting and very, very pleasant. So why not build a resort out here where people can come and relax and enjoy, nature and enjoy the waves, enjoy the sun and all those good things. But at the same time, they can get across town and check out some of these ruins. And perhaps he might even do some exploring himself to see if this island holds any more history or anything interesting to see. And so our little friend here has set off with a business proposal to the bank asking for a loan to be able to get started on this. The bank hears him out. The bank thinks he's crazy, but you know what? Banks like giving out loans to people that they think are going to make money off of, so they do it anyway. And now he's ready to start on his beachfront resort. So let's get cracking and see what we can come up with. So to start things off, I think he's going to begin kind of simply. He's going to just put in an inn and see if he can get a little bit of interest around this thing. And if he can, he has the idea that in the future, he's going to be upgrading and renovating and adding more to it. So in our little beachfront area here, this inn is going to be the first structure that we put in. But he also knows that for an inn to be successful, you have to have something pleasant to look at. So he's also going to be doing a lot of decorating. The inn, as it comes in, is going to be attracting a little bit more commercial structures as well. And so we're going to be going through and putting in a few more things near the inn to give those who come and stay in the town a place to shop. First off, we got to do the inn. So we have to decide where we're going to put it. People are going to be coming out to this beach to play, and the inn doesn't necessarily need to be right on the beach front. He understands that later when he does his renovations and renewals, that those might actually go down more as a beachfront thing. But for now, he's just going to be putting in a place for people to stay. And so I think by this hill here, we're probably going to have to flatten this off a little bit, and we should be able to tuck that in right up in here. All right, so the inn is put in. See what I did there? The inn is put in. That was a joke. And I think we're going to smooth this terrain out to make it blend in a little bit better and give people a walkway down to the beach. In addition to that, we're going to have to build a little bit of a beach swimming area around here. And that's going to require a little bit of gizmo tooling stuff. I've got some ideas for how I want to do that. If you've watched my previous videos where I built a swimming pool, I think we're going to use a lot of the same techniques down here to get this kind of as an inviting place. So let's go ahead and get the terrain smoothed out and see what we can do about getting them a pathway down to the beach and starting to build a attractive swimming area. There we go. The roads are established. We've got a connection to the rest of the town, and we have a connection down to the beach. So my thinking is this area here in the front is going to be kind of a sitting, eating area, because I've envisioned that this is more than just a place to sleep. It's also going to have like a little restaurant attached to it, maybe almost like a bed and breakfast kind of thing, but bigger. And so if we put some tables and some umbrellas here, people can look out over the ocean a little bit, and it'll be raised up above these houses here. And then this area down here is going to be kind of owned and operated by the inn as well, but it's going to be where people have their changing rooms and things set up to enjoy some time down on the beach. And this inn is so small, they're not really going to have control over that much of the beachfront area to start with. And that's going to be coming in later when we get bigger hotels and things put in. So let's get this place kind of decorated out a little bit and see if we can't get a little sitting area set up here. And I want to try to incorporate some of the new decorations, like the gates and stuff. So let's see if we can do that as well. That could be kind of cool. I want to try to build a unique looking flower display here, and I think I'm going to have to kind of build this from scratch. And I want it to be kind of a natural, beachy look to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to figure out a way to get these rocks and use them to make the flower base for it, and then fill it up with a kind of a multi-tiered flower design. So I think if I take a couple of these rocks and then we use the gizmo tool to like shrink everything way down, we should be able to get the kind of look that I'm aiming for here. I think that's a pretty good planter that you don't see every day. I like the way this turned out, and you guys know that I enjoy my layered building. I like to build things vertically instead of just building horizontally, because I believe it adds more interest and intrigue to the things that you're putting in. So for example, we use this rock border here in the front, and we could have just plopped some flowers in on top of that if we wanted to, but I decided to kind of mix and match the heights. We have this bamboo that we pulled down to make like a little scrub brush area in the front. We got some of the normal flowers that I put in, but I pulled up a little bit higher just to get them above the bamboo. And then I actually shrunk down and elongated some of the flowering bushes to make a taller, more pointy structure, followed by a tree. And all together, it kind of softens the edge where this gate is and draws the eye up. It gives a little bit more interest and fascination to the flower display. I really like the way that looks, and I think I might do another one on the other side. So bear with me, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And there you go. You got another planter with the rocks around the front, the green scrub brush, the white flowers, and the red bushes. And this time I used a couple of the topiary bushes to continue kind of the gradation of the slope up towards the palm tree. This is a very cool, welcoming, attractive flower display for people who are coming into the inn. So let's continue decorating and see what we can make this inn look like. So before we do any more decorating on the inn, I just wanted to kind of take a moment to look through this greenhouse that I made. I really like this. This greenhouse thing is a really cool addition to the game, and it makes the back of the inn a little bit more interesting. I'm kind of regretting backing it up against this cliff because it's like you're never going to see it, but hey, this is our own little secret garden, as it were, that we can take a look at. Using the Shift-C, Shift-V option, I was able to get some of these lilacs put into these little planters here, and I hope they give us these little planters as like an independent decoration tool. That would be really, really neat if we could have those just plain planters without anything in them, and we could decide what we wanted to add to those. But in the back, yeah, we've got boxes of fertilizers and things. We've got some benches for people to work on. We've got a tree that's got a little bit of a flickering pixel there. Let me show you how to fix those. If you ever get these flickering pixels, like this one right here, where the shading just isn't quite working, just go ahead and get your gizmo tool out and just raise it up by about a pixel or two, and that should fix the problem every single time. You can go up or you can go down, and as you can see, the flickering is now gone. We managed to get a watering can put on the bench. We got a using the disable placement restrictions option, I was able to get the pump in here, which I think is where they might have one. Doesn't always have to be out in the grass. Looking at the inside of this inn, I really wish that we could get some decorations kind of like these, like picture frames and stuff to add to stuff. They've got the assets for it, or at least the artwork, and I hope that maybe they'll give it to us as entities that we can add into the game later. But I just wanted you to kind of walk you through this little greenhouse area that I built on the side of the inn, which is really, really cool looking, with the path that the people can go in and see all the flowers and stuff. So let's get back to the front of the building and continue decorating and make it look amazing. So what do you think of the inn? Did it turn out all right? I think it turned out great, and we got to use some of the new decorations in the building process, which is a really big thrill to me. I like it a lot. So one of the things that I did a lot during this build, if you come in here and see, I actually disabled all of the building collisions and disabled placement restrictions a lot, which allowed me to come in here and place things into the actual entity, which you normally wouldn't be able to. So these chairs, these tables and stuff, just to give the inn a little bit more of a lived-in vibe where people could come out here and relax outside of the inn with a drink, and just imagine there's like a kitchen inside where people are serving things, and that helped out a lot. I used quite a bit of the topiaries, and I went back to some of the original trees and stuff just to give the inn a little bit of a unique feel, trying to move away from just carpet bombing everything with palm trees, and I think it blends in quite well. I really like these new gates and just the feeling that it gives as you come up to the inn. What do you think of a little water feature? Water seems to be a nice way to break up the monotony of the town and put in little ponds here and there, and I think it adds a nice touch, and it gave me an excuse to use the willow trees, which I think are some of the best new features that they've added to the game with all the decorations. So combining the greenhouse, combining these custom-made planting areas, taking some of the original decorations, taking some of the new decorations, putting it all together, I think this thing worked out really, really well. And one additional little cute thing that I put in was this painter's easel, because I imagine that somebody would come out here and they would see this beach and they would see the ocean and they would want to get a view of what is going on, and maybe even add the alien rock that is now floating over the ocean. We still haven't figured out what we're going to do with that, but that's okay. It's all in good fun. We're going to get that figured out. So we got our inn all put together. Let's get started on our beachfront resort recreation area that this little path leads to. This is going to be exciting because we haven't used a lot of these decorations yet. So let's get cracking. Now we decorate. So let's take a look at the beach here and see what we want to do. Hello, Mr. Rock. You are in the way. You're going to have to move again. All right, so the rock is out of the way. And I think this area down here, it's just going to be a matter of putting in some beach paraphernalia and some changing areas and some chairs and things. All the different things that they've given us in the deck update with all the different decorations that we have now. We got these like little sandcastle things, which I'm looking forward to playing with. And yeah, it's just going to be a little bit of fiddling, a little bit of detailing, but it's going to be a lot of fun to put this in. So let's go ahead and get started and do a little bit of decorating before we move on to doing more businesses and things. And what are you doing? Okay, apparently a path going around here might be necessary as well, so she doesn't have to do a Billy Goat mountain climbing routine. But hey, can you imagine the calves on that thing? Woo, she's got some leg muscles. Let's decorate. So I want to make these awnings look a little bit more like a beach umbrella. So we're going to actually drop them down on the ground to get rid of that base, just so it looks like it's stabbed into the sand. And then we're actually going to make it a little bit taller and a little bit wider, just so it looks, yeah, I like it. Let's keep doing those. I think our little entrepreneur is going to be extremely happy with his little inn that he's put in his first attempts at building a beachfront resort. It's small, it's, you know, kind of tiny, but that just makes it feel all the more intimate when people come down here and enjoy the beach, and opens up the door for future development. And I think our little town here is going to be exploding with tourism for sure. I like all these little sand decorations they gave us. The little sand texture is cool, and I have so many ideas for how we could use this outside of the beach. This is a little addition just to give a little bit of pop to things. I like the modular design that they give you, so you can build your own little sand castles with the different pieces. I didn't really do anything all that complicated, but it was a nice first try, and I think it's going to be kind of fun. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll see people down here enjoying the fire and the chairs. I think this whole thing looks really, really neat. They gave us a lot of really neat options, and then got this wooden gazebo up here that we installed, and I realized I forgot to put anything inside of it. So we'll get some chairs and things set up in there in just a second. But I just went with a little bit of a colorful splash of tropical love with different sized bushes and a lot of the red flowers just kind of going up this hill and a little bit more of a wildflower look, so it's not quite as manicured as some of the other areas that we've had in the city so far. But it is kind of a theme that I've been trying to push a little bit as I've been building everything, is just give it a little bit of a natural overgrown look, because it doesn't need to look quite like, you know, a Disney resort yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So we did forget to put something in here. So let's just take a look and see what we have. And I think instead of a table, I'm going to put some chairs and things in here just for people to enjoy sitting around, and then maybe put like a table where they could have some foods and drinks and that kind of stuff. So let's get these beach chairs, and we're going to put these in here instead of your more traditional table setup like we've had in the past. We'll get a couple of these wooden ones in here. Take one of these, and we're going to put it right here in the middle, and we're going to make it larger. And then hopefully someday they'll give us food and drink that we can start putting on these things. But I don't really have any for now. And if I was going to gizmo anything, it would just take a long time. And it's just decorations, so we're going to leave it like it is. It does need some light because I imagine at night this is going to be kind of a little bit of a difficult area to traverse. So we're going to put a couple of these in, keeping with the theme of these wooden light posts that we've been using all throughout the build. And we'll add a little bit more light along the pathway just so people can walk safely to and from the beach once the sun starts to go down. So let's go ahead and drop those in, and then we'll move on to our next area that we're going to build. I have never used any of these tour routes, actually, from the hotels. And before we get to building anything else, I want to check them out to see how these things work, because this is going to dictate what kind of stuff we build next. I was looking through the routes, and when you click on a route, you get all kinds of different categories that you can choose. And I just happened to click on the one that called Summer Smiles, and I'm not really sure what this means, but let's read through the descriptions here to see what kind of tourism routes we might be able to build on our little island. So for a hotel to function and attract tourists, you need to create tourist routes. Having good routes attracts more guests and generates more income. This makes perfect sense to me. Every route has a selectable theme and therefore unique requirements. Fulfilling the requirements improves the route's rating. All right. While editing a route, you can insert a new point in that route by double-clicking the path. You can drag points to change the layout of the routes. To remove a point, you can simply right-click it. Seems pretty straightforward so far. A hotel can have up to 3 routes. A basic hotel will have 1 route slot, and every expansion adds another slot. Okay, so where do I find out what the requirements are? We've got Marketplace Stroll. That would imply that there's little market stalls. Food festivities, maybe that's restaurants. Shopper's Paradise, that would be like clothing stores and things. Fashionista's Hut, maybe that's like the more advanced like dressmakers and things like that. Arts and crafts, which is probably pottery. Fairground Fantasies, so that would be the amusement park. Autumn Adventure, don't really know. I guess lots of autumn decorations. Spooky Stroll, so lots of gravestone stuff, I guess, the Halloween decorations. A Zen Garden, that might be these cherry trees and the water features and things like that. I'm not sure. And a Winter Wonderland. Well, we've got Summer Smiles already picked, so let's see what this thing does. All right, because we have lots of flowers and things. So what happens if I click on this? So if we come over here, route rating 50%. So I'm not really sure what that did for me, but they did like apparently stopping by this pond with all of these flowers. Where else could we bring them through? It seems to me like we could might have to adjust our paths a little bit, but it seems to me like we would bring them out here, maybe towards this pond. I don't know how far that is. Does the route distance change things? Let's see. Well, let's have them stop by that pond, and then maybe we can have them come over here by the church and stop in here, and that makes them 100% happy. Okay, interesting. So how far are we allowed to go? Here, you guys come on up here to the gravestones. That'll be cute. There we go. We have a happy, smiling route, and I'm not sure what that does for me, but we can go ahead and add some people working in here, and then we'll let this run, and we'll see what happens. Do people actually come? All right, so we got the people who are coming out. They're going on the tour. This is kind of cool. I like that outfit. You are very stylish. Pink jacket is to die for. I love the cane. And so they're going to go on this walk from this hotel. They're going to come out here, speed this up a little bit, and they're going to come to the first stop, which is the little pond that I built. And then they're going to come down here, and they're going to walk around in front of our barber shop, which is quite the sight to behold, let me tell you. And eventually they're going to come up here by the church, and they're going to go around. I thought they would go through here, but I guess that's not where the route goes. Is it because... What if I put that in there? There we go. Now they'll go there. Okay. And then they're going to walk over here to the ever amazing cemetery and pay their respects. And they're going to go back to the hotel. And I somehow get money from this? Okay. But this does give me some ideas on how these routes are going to work and how we're going to upgrade the routes and make things even better. And I think that when we get our other hotel built, which is going to be built over here, we're definitely going to have some things to look at with this town center and stuff like that. So keeping these routes in mind, what kind of stuff would you want to build over here as we expand the city this direction? Because that's what I want to do next. Do I want to expand the hotel? Yes, I do. I've got enough money to do that. Oh, it gets bigger. Oh. Did that mess up all my decorations? Yeah, it kind of did. That's a bit frustrating, but we'll get this thing decorated out and it'll still look nice. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so they come back and I guess they're happy. Tourism points. I suppose when you need to upgrade things, you use the tourism points like you do the farm points. Okay, we've learned something new. So With that in mind, what kind of route do we want to build over here? How about some shopping? I think if we're going to expand out a resort here, we're going to have some shopping down this way, and we're going to have to start adding in a little bit more population to work. So let's take a look at some of the different stores that we can put in and get those added to our city. So hear me out here. What if we made like a town to city version of an outlet mall where we just built like a shopping complex that goes up here and maybe even up here? We can have the tour go up this road and onto the cliff and come over here by the bistro, and we can have lots of shops and things filling in this area here, which means we'll have to do a little bit of terraforming to make that work, but that could be kind of cool. So we're going to call this like a shopper's row. And to put things in here, we got a shoemaker. That'll fit perfectly. We can put an optician in there. That's going to be great. We could even put a jeweler in there. We could put a perfumer. There's all kinds of things that we could add, and we could make this a shopper's paradise. What about a dressmaker? Even a dressmaker would fit. We could make this like fancy schmancy stuff. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so to make this a very beautiful walkway, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually make this little cliff face here like a really attractive garden feature. And we're gonna use some of the same techniques that we used down here by the hotel. I'm gonna use these rocks, and I'm gonna create kind of a natural walled planter formation, and using the gizmo tool, we're gonna get that stuffed in. So let me see how I can do that here. I really like how this is coming along. I put in this really cool custom, I don't know, roadside garden feature, and this thing turned out better than I expected. We have so many options for colors and textures and heights now. We can mix the bamboo in, we can make it taller and shorter. It makes an excellent backdrop, so I don't have to spend quite as much time with the climbing ivy on the cliff. Resizing the different trees with like the cherry blossoms and the contorted trees and stuff gives us a really neat color, and the bushes, the topiaries, and the regular plants just made this really, really pop and be exciting. And wow, and then I had this kind of inspiration. Why not tie in the Roman ruins that we have on the other side of town and bring them over here, since this is going to be a tourist area and a walkway for people coming in from the town and the hotels anyway. And so I sprinkled in some of the ruins here and there, and this thing on the left is so cool. Just walking past that, you can really feel the island vibes. The color, it just pops, and it leads all the way up to our bistro with a beautiful walkway. And we have the option of extending it even further if we want to as we build down there. And it makes just a really cool backdrop to decorate the rest of these buildings and make a really impressive shopping tour that people from our hotel can enjoy. And then I went ahead and sprinkled in some ruins here at the entranceway and put one of these old gateway, stone gateway things in here just to kind of separate it off as you're heading into a little bit more of an upscale, nicer touristy area. So let's go ahead and get these buildings decorated, and then we can put our next tour route in. And I think we're going to desperately need some housing to get these guys employed. So decorations first, housing, and then maybe a tour. We're all settled in and we got everything decorated on the other side of the street now. So on one side of the street, we have the custom flower emplacements and gardens and things like that. And then on the other side, we went ahead and decorated out our jeweler, our shoemaker, and our optometrist with some different combinations of flowers, trees, fountains, different colors, different textures, different heights, things like that. And it turned out really, really nice. But we don't have enough people to work in these places. So we need to toss some housing in before this video comes to an end. And once we get the housing put in, we get all this thing unemployed, we can build the route for the hotel tour and see if people like it. And that should be a nice way to wrap things up. So let's figure out where we're going to put people and where they're going to live in order to have enough townsfolk to run these new businesses that we just put in with this new shopping district. So let's check it out. So let's put in, I think we're going to need maybe 3 or 4, and I want to make them regular townspeople houses because I need those kind of peoples to work in the shop. We can do some artisan, mix it in here and there, but mostly I'm in need of regular townspeople. So let's drop some houses in and get the people employed. So if we're going to put any houses over here, what I need to look at is what kind of houses we want. So these people moving in desire to be near water. Well, I can't really help them with that. And these guys desire to be in a neighborhood with many folk, which should be okay because I can put a lot of different houses over here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and dismiss this family here because I can't really help them with the water thing. And we're going to wait to see if we can get another family roll in that actually wants to live in a house that I can provide for them. I think I'm going to go with the Rosemary houses over here and just put a couple of them in. So the houses are all decorated and ready to go. Let's get the people put in and then we can get employment up at those shopping areas that we just built. And we can go ahead and install a new tour line from our hotel. So let's go ahead and click on the hotel. We've already added the route. So let's go ahead and edit our routes, and we're going to add a route. And I think this one, we're going to call this a shopper's paradise, and we're going to see how it goes. And the shoppers are going to come up here, and the first stop they're going to make, I think, is going to be the jeweler. 1 of 9. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, we'll see how this goes. What we're going to do is we're going to come up here. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. So I'm going to need a lot more commerce, actually. Interesting. 9 of them. Well, then. All right. Well, it appears that this is not quite the route that we want to have right now. What other kind of routes can we do? Okay, so this only needs 3 kind of commerce and has to be apparel. So what if we do... All right, that should work. Bring them up here and bring them back. Perfect. Okay, so we'll do a fashionable strut up through the area that we just went through. This one apparently is it too far to get noticed. That's fine. I got everything I need. We need to add a few more workers and we can go ahead and upgrade this one more time. All right, so now these guys are going to go on their little strut up here to check out the new area that we just built, which is very, very cool. And then we got to decorate our inn because now we've got it upgraded. I think that's the max. There we go. That's a nice looking little inn where all the little bourgeoisie people can come hang out and spend all their hard-earned money going on tours of different things. We have one more tour line that we can add, but I think we're going to have to think about what we're going to do with our town before we can handle that. So let's just call it quits for now. So we've had our first experiment with the new hotels that came out with the 1.0 update, and we built ourselves a little beach resort type thing and got it upgraded all the way up to the full size, but we don't have all 3 of the tour routes put together yet. But we do have a tour route that goes through kind of the center part of town, and then we have a tour route that goes up through this new neighborhood that we built, which is incredibly beautiful. And if we swing the camera around, we can see all of this new stuff that we just added. We added in a little shopper's paradise, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. This custom garden setup here on the left is incredible and really adds to the vibrance and depth of this whole shopping street and makes, I think, the tour that we put in a much more enjoyable proposition for the people who live there. And we've continued out, finishing up this cliffside area where we had our bistro from before, and then we extended our cliff all the way over here where we put in a couple more houses so we can have enough population to employ this new district that we just built. I really like the new beach decorations that they gave us. They're very, very cool looking, and you can do a lot of stuff with them. And I'm actually looking forward to kind of mixing and matching these things with the Gizmo tool to build some new custom structures as well. The people who built this game have done an absolutely astounding job with the artistic style, and I really, really, really like it a lot. One new thing that we tried this episode was building gardens with kind of a more wild look to them, where I put a tree in the middle and we're using, instead of just flowers like I have in the past, we're going with more bushes and things to try to get a little bit of height as well. And that included these 2 custom planters that we put at the gates to our hotel over here, a little inn that we put in. I really like using the rocks and the Gizmo tool to create those borders, and then the tree and then the bamboo and the flowers and the bushes all combined together. And these gate things are very, very neat, and you can do a lot to decorate with them. I really like the gate structures. There's a couple more that I haven't tried yet that I'm really looking forward to having a go with. And again, over here, I really, really like using these rocks to create custom boundaries with these planting units that got the bamboo and the flowers and the bushes and the topiaries and the palm trees. And here come some of our bourgeoisie back from their tour. Hopefully they're happy and excited. They're taking their time walking, kind of doing the Michael Jackson forward moonwalk looking thing here. But hey, whatever yanks their chain, I'm glad they're having a good time, and I'm glad they're here to spend their money. And there might even be some up here in our new shopping district. If we zoom out and look, nope, nobody's here. All right, but we're making good progress on the town, and if you want to see this progress ahead of time before anybody else does, go ahead and join the membership program. I am so grateful for all the people that are helping me out. It just makes it easier for me to make these videos and to have a little bit more time free to do editing and recording. If you didn't join the membership program, that's okay. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm still glad that you watched, and we had a really wonderful time doing these decorations and experimenting with these new features. But I think that's about all we're going to have time for today. This was a little bit of a shorter one, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And until next time, I'll catch y'all later.